During the Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on Afghanistan last week, Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama had actually the last question, and he asked Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin if he is opposed to dishonorable discharges for U.S. military service members who decline to get the COVID shot. Here is that exchange.
Are you against dishonorable discharges to the military for not taking a vaccine? You're the leader of the DOD.
I am the leader, and again, we have a non-judicial, a UCMJ that really addresses all of the issues in the military and gives our leadership what they need to be able to enforce standards. Taking the vaccine is a requirement, and again, I'll just leave it at that.
That was a really good non-answer. Joining me now is Senator Tuberville from Alabama. Senator, welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. That was the Capitol Hill two-step there.
He ought to be running for office because he didn't say anything. A very straightforward question, which I think as the head of the military, he should give an opinion. But I think he is, I watched that as that took place. And my read, and I wasn't in the room, I was watching on TV, but my read from his body language is he wanted to say he didn't support it, but he can't because the president apparently pushing him. My take.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They're all taking their orders, especially the military. It's kind of like Afghanistan. We had that hearing. And the one thing that we wanted to get on the table was it a political decision from the State Department and President Biden, or was it a military decision? Well, obviously, they backed that up, the military decision. Every general said, we need to stay. We need to protect the people that are there. If we're going to leave, let's do it right. And, Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, and President Biden said, no, we're going to get out. And we did it totally the wrong way.
Now, on the issue of the vaccine, 1 week before the hearing, you introduced the COVID-19 Vaccine Dishonorable Discharge Prevention Act. Tell our listeners about that and why you introduced it.
Well, there's no reason. First of all, I took the vaccine. I believe it has helped me. I'm around a lot of people, and I think it would help a lot of people. But we live in a free country. You don't have to be told that you got to take something and put in your body. Now, when it gets to the military, it's the same thing. I mean, if you want to go into the military, that's your option. You're not forced to go in the military anymore. You're not drafted. So the federal government shouldn't have the opportunity to tell you just because you're in the military or government official that you have to take this vaccine. So they were going to make a dishonorable discharge if you didn't take it. And, President Biden's sticking with that. I don't know where he's getting all this information from, but it doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't fit the narrative of this country, freedom and liberty. It surely doesn't fit, what we do in the military. You've got the right to choose. So we put that bill out. It won't get anywhere, but we're talking about it on the Senate floor. We're getting other senators to talk about it. And I think that we will eventually get enough press that they're going to have to stand up and just say, we are or we're not going to do this.
Now, there was an effort to get that inserted into the NDAA. Is there any chance that that could come out of the conference committee report on the National Defense Authorization Act?
Yeah, we possibly could do that. We're going to try to do it. They just passed it out of the House, and now it's got to go back through committees, and we'll try to get several different things in the NDAA. It's looking pretty good. We got an increase in the amount that President Biden wanted to put in. We didn't want to cut the military. We wanted to do what was right. But there are some things like this that we possibly could get in there. We don't know where a lot of people stand on this. Even the Democrats. The one thing, I'm on the Armed Services Committee, and it's probably the most bipartisan committee up here, because how can you not like the military? How can you not like protecting ourselves, our country, our allies? And, most of the people on the committee, and Republican or Democrat, are pretty straightforward that we're in this together. And so maybe we can get this through. It just doesn't seem right to me that we can have these men and women go through life being in the military, and all of a sudden they won't take the vaccine, and so they're going to get a dishonorable discharge and lose their pension, lose their insurance, and have things like that happen to them just because they won't abide by the rules of this Gestapo government that we're trying to build here in Washington, D.C.
If we were 5-10 years down the road here and this vaccine had a very established track record, and I've said before, I'm not against the vaccine. I've actually had COVID, so I have natural immunity. That's not being factored in, and I just feel like they've politicized this by forcing it upon people when we still do not have a lot of information. As I said, 5-10 years down the road, I understand it could be something that is required. Let me switch gears. Speaking of the military, Taiwan has reported a record number of incursions by the Chinese into their air identification zone for like 3 days running. What can you tell us about this? Well,
it's we're showing weakness in everything we do in foreign policy with Biden, and while we're doing this, the one thing that we got to really be careful of is the Indo-Pacific, not just Taiwan, but other areas. So after Afghanistan, just immediately after Afghanistan, you saw where Xi Jinping or whatever his name is from China comes out and says, that's our sovereign nation. They're part of our country, and eventually we're going to take them back. And so every day they're kind of pushing to make things happen, to make it look like that they might come in. We've got an aircraft carrier over there. I know Great Britain has an aircraft carrier. We're trying to get more things done to support Taiwan. We don't need to be doing it ourselves, but we need to help them support themselves because they've been a great ally. And matter of fact, we were here the other day and had the ambassador sitting here in my office, and they're needing 25 million vaccines, and I'm trying to get the administration to sell them to them. For some reason, we won't sell them to them. We were able to sell them 2 million back when this first started, the vaccine first came out, but we should be helping our allies and people all over the world with this vaccine if they want it.
Instead of mandating it here for people who actually have natural immunity. Senator, we got to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us. Look forward to talking to you again real soon.